Coding bots. So basically in today's GFG POTD we have a problem. Sort the given array after applying the given equation. Okay, so basically it is a medium level problem, and here we have an array, and here we have to applying some given equations, and we need to return the array. Okay, so basically this is a medium level problem, and as the problem statement is given as given integer array r sorted in ascending order. Okay, so basically we have an array which is already sorted in ascending order. If we actually checking in this example, so here we get like -4, -2, then 0, then 2 and 4. Okay, so we have a sorted array, okay, along with three integers a, b and c. Okay, so here we have three integers also with having their values like if I'm talking about example 1 here, so a is equal to 1, b is equal to 3 and c is equal to 5. The task is to transform each x in the array using quadratic function. Okay, so we know very well about quadratic function, which we can like write it in the form of like ax square then plus bx then plus c. This is the quadratic equations which we actually learned in our mathematics sections. Okay, and yeah, so we have to represent it our, okay, we have to transform our each element of x in the form of quadratic equation, where it is in the functions like ax square plus bx then c. After applying these transformations in every element, return the modified array in sorted order. Okay, so here we have to transform our every element and return our modified array in sorted order. Okay, so basically if I'm talking about the example 1 here, so here we have a sorted array like -4, -2, 0 and 2 and 4, and here we have 1 is a is equal to 1, b is equal to 3 and c is equal to 5. Okay, so basically what we have to do here, we have to applying our quadratic functions. Okay, and we have to return our modified element or the modified array. Okay, so how we can get these things? Here we have already like here we have three variables like a, b, c, and with this we have to define our quadratic equation, which is ax plus bx, ax square then bx then plus c. Okay, so a is like 1, then if you have to multiply with x square, so here we have x square's values, like we have to take each elements. Okay, like 3. Okay, for first term we have to define with 3. Okay, and then what we'll do, well then plus 5. Okay, similarly if I'm talking about example second here, if my value is a is equal to -1, b is equal to 0 and c is equal to 0, so the final output which we will get is like -16, -9, -4 and -1, which is after sorted we get these things. Okay, so here we have to solve this problem with an expected time complexity of order of n and expected auxiliary space of order of n, and this question is asked in like Adobe, and it is completely based on like mathematical sorting and algorithms. So basically what will be the approach for solving this problem is here, like if I'm talking about, if I'm going to explain it here, so let me explain. Here we know very well about our mathematical quadratic equations. Okay, quadratic equations which we are actually know. Okay, and we have like learned these equations. Like quadratic equations can be presented like ax plus b, ax square. Okay, ax square then plus bx and then here we have to do plus with c, where abc is our constant term, right? Here we can write it here, our abc is our constant, whereas x is our we can say that our equation, our independent value, we can say that. Okay, which is dynamic, which is like changing according to the array values. Okay, so if we implement this -4 in our equations, okay, so we get first of all this thing. Okay, like if I implement -4 for the value of x, then I'm getting 3. For -2 I'm getting 5. For 0 I'm getting 9, and for value 4 I'm getting 15. And similarly if I'm implementing 4, then here I'm getting 33. So here we have to, like what we can do here, we have to traverse first of all. So for getting this value of x, point I is equal to 0, and then I is less than whatever is the size of an array, we have to take it and we have to traverse it till the size of an array. And then what we'll do here, we have to do these things. Then after that, here we have to return our modified array. So for that, here it is already given as array. So array of I, we have to store our modified array. And how we can modifying our array? By implementing the quadratic equation. So how we can do these things? Here we can modifying our array by using these things, by implementing a quadratic equation, which is like a multiplied by ax square, which is a, this is x value, which we actually denoting it by array of I, and here we have to do square, so we can write it 2 times here. Okay, and we can also like enclose in our parenthesis for implementing this first equation. Okay, then we have to do for b. Okay, ax square plus bx. Okay, so here we can multiply b, okay, which is multiplied by x, and our x value is like array of I. Okay, and then simply we have to add it with last value, which is c. Once we have done these things, here we will get our modifying array after performing. Okay, so I can write it here, after performing the quadratic equation, we get our modified array. Okay, which we have to return it here. Okay, return our array, but before that we have to also like return the modified array in sorted order. So here we can also like implement our sort functions. Okay, sort array dot begin and then array dot end. Okay, yeah, let me compile and run. So its execution is fine and its compilation is also completed. Let's try to submit it. So it's submitted. So that's all for today. Thanks for watching.